Suzuki Hayabusa here. It was giving me a hard start and a sluggish running. It all started after I thought was a full tank of gas. I approached bike shops, two of them, and the internet. They all said start with the plug, start with the coil, move on to like throttle position sensors. I didn't believe them. To me, it was a gas problem. I had issues like that before where it was bad plugs and coils. I said, and besides all of that, the F1 light wasn't going on. I felt if it was an electrical issue, the light would be going on. So I took the gas tank off, which was fairly easy. All you have is 2 bolts here. Then you have this slide bolt. The fun part with this is that Suzuki made it where you can't take the bolt out. So after you thread it back, you then have to have somebody hold the tank up for you. Disconnect the fuel line, the power cord for the fuel pump, and just kind of wiggle it out and finagle it out. I suggest once you do have it out, you also take the airbox off and clean that off. It's a lot easier when the tank is out of your way. Okay, so now I expected to find rust in the gas tank. My research had told me that early model Hayabusas, which is what this is, had rusty gas tanks. So I pulled the fuel pump off. Ava, my trusty assistant, one of my trusty assistants, turn the light on, sweetheart. Okay, and I opened up the gas tank. And what do I see? Perfectly clear gas tank. Great. It's hard to tell with this lighting for some reason. But as you could tell, there's no rust in the gas tank. If you can't, it's hard to see here, but there is debris. Now, come on over here, Isabel. This is my other daughter, Isabel, is helping me out. Pick that up right there. This is the fuel pump. As you could see, I took the fuel pump apart and look in there. All kinds of junk and debris in there. Take that off over there, please. Pick that up for me. This right here, if you look on the end, she just swiped it, but look at the end of the fuel filter. That's the fuel filter. This debris was all clogged up right here. As you can tell, this is where the fuel goes in, and it was all gummed up and clogged up. So, this is not that hard to take off. It's just on bolts. It's 4 bolts, which is right here, maybe 5 bolts. You take it off, you take it from this side, you take it off. You have clip bolts that go here and here, and then you have to unscrew wherever that might be. I've lost track of this one. Hold this for me, dear. You have these right here, which fit right there. See that right there? Now, the thing about that is it is really hard to get this apart. I separated it, and I thought I was going to break it. If you notice, hold that again, sweetheart. If you notice, this O-ring right here, it doesn't want to let go. But with a lot of finesse, you could pop it loose. So I suggest, though, I ordered a new O-ring here because it's a gas tank O-ring. I ordered a new O-ring for that and the fuel screen, pushing almost $100. But it was definitely debris in the tank, and which caused it to clog up the fuel screen. And basically that was the problem. So if the bike shops are telling you, if you don't got a F1 light going, you don't got a plug following, now you could feel it. The bike shops are telling you, go all this, they were telling me start with the plugs. They were calling it the ABCs. 2 bike shops gave me that advice. I didn't go with it because I could tell it was a fuel issue. I took my assistant number 1 and the other one, which is retreated to her bike over there, to give me a hand on this. And we took it all apart. Now I just got to wait for the parts to come in. One last thing I wanted to show you, which told me definitely take the fuel pump apart. I don't know where I put it down. I put it over here. This right here, this was a clean bucket. I took the gas, and you could barely see it, but you see all that debris? And I turned the fuel pump over, and all this debris, it started to evaporate a little bit. All this debris was in the fuel pump, and it came out. As soon as I seen that, I knew I had to take the fuel pump apart. I still have debris in the tank, which is hard to see. Another thing to be very careful of, these things fall right off. Actually, this is the side that fell right off on me, and I happened to hear it hit the floor. Also, there's a spacer in here. See this? This will fall right out too. It fell out into the grass, and I happened to see it hit the ground. So when you take that tank off, these things just fall right out. And if you're not paying attention, you'll lose them somewhere, or try to put it back together, and you'll be, in trouble. So that's it. I hope it was helpful. And thank you.